Have you ever thought about staging your home? And I'm not talking just to sell your home, but even in everyday real life. Welcome to Breakfast with Bev this morning. I'm Bev Curtis here with Bev & Co. at House of Brokers, and I've got a guest speaker here this morning. Voila!
Hi, I'm Ann Tuckley with Ann Tuckley Home. And Bev and I have been working together for several years in staging her property.
Actually, quite a few years now that I think about it. And what we're going to talk about this morning is staging and all the different facets of staging, because there's everything from light staging to moderate staging to intense staging to blank palettes with, nothing in the home and completely furnishing it out, to everything from bringing in different pieces, different artwork, pottery, etc., to kind of get the feel of the home. And then there's kind of the do-it-yourselfer. It's like, what are some tips as far as maybe thinning out, maybe some of the things that you've put in the same spot for years and thinks that's where it's supposed to go, could literally be moved and put into a whole different place in your home and create a whole new wow factor.
Yes.
And so this is where we want to kind of pick the brain here with Ann as far as telling us what are some of the tips and tricks that people can use. So first, let's start with the do-it-yourselfer. If I'm in a home and I'm kind of like, I've got some great accessories here and I like my furniture, it's just feeling kind of blah. It's feeling a little stale. What would you recommend to people to do in that situation?
Well, when, I say even the most beautiful of homes often need to be staged. 99% of them need to be staged in some way. So, color goes a long way as far as picking up that.
Do we have sound, guys? Can everybody hear? I don't think they can hear us. I'm going to type.
This is what it must be like on Channel 8 News. When they're, it's like, is it on yet?
I don't know.
Is it on yet?
Are we good?
Is the sound not going this morning?
No sound. I guess we could just record something and then run it non-live.
You're sure it's not just you?
How many viewers do we have? If there's none, we won't worry about it.
We're good. We're good.
You're good.
Is our sound back up?
We're good. Yeah.
I think we had a little technical difficulty this morning when we were talking. This is what it's like when we're on the Today Show and like something goes wrong in the background. It's just, we don't have the teleprompter.
All good. All good. We had a viewer saying there's no sound, but we got sound. So
Okay, we have sound, so I don't know how much you guys have heard.
if you can't hear us, just drop a comment.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should start over
We
or
were
not.
talking about Ethel.
Okay, guys, so welcome to Breakfast with Bev. What a great morning to start off with. And so we're talking about staging, and sorry we had some technical difficulty with the sound, and so I don't know how much you've heard and how much you didn't, but I'm Bev Curtis with Bev & Co. This is my friend, Ann Tuckley with Ann Tuckley Home.
Here.
And so we're talking about staging and all the different facets. And so with that being said, let's talk about a little bit about the do-it-yourselfer tricks in your home as far as creating new, fresh, and fun spaces.
Yeah, so I don't know what you heard, but color definitely goes a long way as far as when it's being photographed, it just pops in the picture. And of course, the computer is the first place that people are looking for their home. So your home must really reach out to people when they're casually flipping through amongst all the very bland and very empty shells of homes. So rearranging your furnishings in nice conversation areas, getting it pulled away from the walls, making sure that your rugs that are in the home, that all of your furniture is sitting on the rug and that the rug's not too small. Just the right lighting goes a long way. I've recently been in a house and like all these recessed bulbs, and everyone's a different color, and some of them are burned out and some of them aren't bright enough, and just really brightening up your home. It not only photographs really well, but it looks really well taken care of when everything is matching and when things haven't burned out.
Light fixtures can make a big difference as far as the feel and the look of the room, and especially the light bulbs as well. Some of it can be warmer, some of it colder. That's a big deal, I think, as far as switching out light bulbs and just having light bulbs in every socket too. So some people have hodgepodge with, burnt out light bulbs, which is not a good scenario either.
And the right light bulbs. I mean, you see a lot of these coiled light bulbs sticking out of vanity lights and out of ceiling fans. Those are not to be seen. They're supposed to be behind a lampshade or undercover. So,
Right. So let's say I am a seller and I'm looking to sell my home, and you were just talking about color, that pops of color. But a lot of people say, oh gosh, when you go to sell, it's got to be a neutral palette because we're trying to appeal to the masses. So let's say I've got a vacant home and I've got some kind of bold colors in it. What would you suggest to do? Paint, not paint, or accessorize around that? What would you do in a case like that?
Every house kind of speaks to me differently. In a bold colored home, I have made the mistake. I'm fessing up. There was an orange wall in this house, and the realtor and I agreed that wall has to go. Well, some people that had seen the house before, they're like, why did you take that wall down? But because it was an artist home, and so it really went with the art vibe. And again, if it's just a vacant home and there's not much else to look at, it does grab your attention. Now, there's often the times that we get into that deep burgundy dining room that's just dark and dated.
Yeah.
I would say yes, go ahead, give it a fresh coat of paint. But if like my house is, you've seen my house, it's every color of the world, and I don't think I'll probably paint it if ever we go to sell it, because it goes with all the decor that's in there. So if it's a disgusting Pepto-Bismol pink, maybe tone it down a little bit, but I think that's just a myth that everything has to be painted white. So, in my opinion.
Right. Okay, so let's say I am a seller and I am looking to put my home on the market sometime soon, and we always talk about thinning out, thinning out, thinning out.
Yes.
So what is too much to thin out, and where does one stop with that? Because I think the saying a lot of people say is less is more. So what would be your comments on that?
I've gotten into houses before and I say, where's all the artwork? Well, the realtor asked me to take it all down and get rid of everything. I'm like, well, we've got to bring it all back now, because now the house has to have a little personality without it being really the seller's personality. So yes, you pack up all those Shakespeare's cups that we all have 30 of or more. Nobody needs that many. So go through your cabinets, pack up any of those things that you're not using, any of those off-season things. Keep some of the nice decorative accessories, but packing up any personal items and family photos, and I always say family photos, religious, anything religious, anything political, anything that tells about you. So diplomas, things like that. They don't need to be in there to find out who you are. They are looking at your house.
Okay, so here's a question that's asked all the time is, are you going to make me clean my closets?
Yeah.
Do I have to clean my closets? Do people really look in closets?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
They do, yes. It's a good time to purge. It's a good time to donate, purge, sell it on Facebook. Just weed through this stuff and get rid of all those empty hangers that everyone has, like 10,000 of them. Organize it, like I always say, what would Martha do? What would Martha Stewart do? and people are like, okay, I got it.
And you actually
so-
said that in real
Yeah,
life.
because
Yes.
people just go, okay, yeah, I understand now. It
Right.
needs to be folded. It needs to be
Right.
nice hangers. Look like a little boutique. People, when they're going through a home, they're looking for the amount of storage. It's all about, will all my stuff fit into this house? So storage is key. Clean it out, box it up, label it up, stick it in the garage. You're one way, you're halfway out. I mean, you're pre-packing. Just look at it that way, and less you have to do in the future.
Mhm. Are you a basket fan? Are you like, get a basket, put this on? You know, some people like real basket fans. Are you a
I'm a
basket
big-
fan?
Well, I mean, yeah, if there's tons of toys everywhere,
Okay.
put them in baskets, put them up on
Yeah.
shelves, put them in containers, label it, write in cute little calligraphy or something on your totes, stack it up, but contain things so that people aren't just walking into chaos. You know, we've all seen it's like the one child that has enough toys for 20 children. So
Yeah.
kind of good time to purge those too.
And I know another thing that I have learned through the years that you have taught me was that when you go into a master bedroom or any bedroom in the house, you want to face the bed on with the headboard on the back wall. You don't like coming into rooms where the bed's going sideways.
Yeah, I don't like to see under the bed. It just photographs better.
Uh-huh.
It feels better. It's more inviting. That I have a big I have a big thing
She
about
has a big problem with the bed going sideways, so literally almost every house I go into.
or
now.
something.
I think so. I always tell the seller, I'm really sorry, but you gotta move the bed
You gotta
back.
move the bed.
You know, they might have just moved it just a few weeks ago, and I'm like, it really needs to go back on
Remember
the
the
back wall.
one where the bed was in the middle of the room?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So placement of furniture is very important, and I mean honestly, that's where hiring a designer to come through and just give a consultation. Takes an hour. That will really help out anyone. You know, I mean, even if you're a DIYer, just getting that information is so helpful if you're getting ready to sell.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's one of those things that staging is not just for selling your home. It's for everyday living as well, just for functionality, for your style, for a fresh look. So many times after she comes in and does a full staging, you know, people say, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this years ago?
Yeah,
I would
why
have
didn't
loved
I
this.
have you 10
So
years ago?
don't just wait until it's time to sell, because, you know, you need to enjoy it while you're living there too. So as far as like a tip, what would be one of the best tips to tell someone living in their home, would you say, that would be very helpful? What's the one thing that comes to mind that you think would make the biggest impact if they just did this one thing? Is there anything that comes to mind?
If you just did this one thing, I mean, window treatments are really huge for me. You spend all this money
That's a good
on
one.
these windows, and then you cover them up. I will never understand that. I like to frame out the windows. It makes them appear larger. I like to take the curtains even taller than the window to really add some drama into the room. That little change makes the biggest difference, I think. Accessorizing goes a long way. If you're kind of tired of your furniture or your sofa, some new pillows on there makes a world of difference. And if you've got a kitchen table that might be that oak and grandma left it to you, but you really hate it, paint it. I mean, grandma wouldn't be upset. You still have it, but then you can paint it. Give it a nice white or black or even a vibrant color, and give it some new life. And it makes just a world of difference. To be able to use something that you want to use and then actually enjoy it too.
Well, and I think too, staging does not have to be expensive. I think when people hear that word, they automatically think, oh gosh, that's going to cost me a lot of money. Many times the staging that we do is all with the accessories that seller owns.
Yes, and it's so fun for me to do that.
Shop out of their house, basically.
Yes, and so often you hear, oh, you're going to use that old thing that I dug deep in the cabinet and pulled out, and yes, there's no reason to really spend a go out and buy a lot of things to stage your home. You have it. I assure you, you have it.
And
Yeah.
if you don't, she's got a warehouse full
Oh,
of things.
oh my gosh!
I don't know how many
yes.
sofa sets and art pieces and
I have no
accessories,
idea.
and I mean, you have it all, pillows and towels and everything under the sun. So,
Yes.
okay. So the main point today is, guys, don't let staging scare you. You can do it mildly, moderately. You can go very intense with it. If you have a vacant home and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe I need to stage it for the market, it makes a huge difference as far as the photography shoot and giving personality and character into the space. So if you have concerns on staging, don't let that be the reason not to do it, because we certainly have the resources. So Ann
Yes.
here is, like I said, she's got a warehouse full of things. She can lease things. She can come rearrange the things that you already have. So
Right, even supplement some things, you know, even
Sure.
bringing in a few art pieces, which we've done a lot, bringing in some rugs, just a few vibrant pieces, or sometimes it's even more texture. It just depends on what the house is. Besides staging, though, I think most importantly is you really need to go through and give your house a good clean, touch up those scuff marks and the baseboards that have been dirtied over the years, and just go through and fine tune it really well before it's even staged. I mean, I can stage all day, but if the house is not up
Yes.
to presentation, then
cleanliness goes a long way.
yes, and it makes the house look as if it's been well maintained over the years.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, dear, for
You're
joining
welcome.
me this
Thanks for
morning.
having
Hope you
me.
guys heard most of the message. Once again, sorry for the little technical difficulty at the beginning, but we appreciate you joining in. Have a very happy Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.